Hey guys, welcome back to HiSeth. The Canon M50 Mark II was just recently released in 14th October. At the same time, the iPhone 12 Pro was also released on the 23rd of October. Which one should you buy? The first version of Canon M50 was released back in 2018. Back then, it was a great camera. With the features that it had and the price that it was offered at, it was a great and affordable budget mirrorless camera to purchase. Unfortunately, 2 years have passed, and during these 2 years when Canon M50 has been selling really well, they didn't really offer value that could make this camera and the purchases that comes with it attractive to use in the long term. You see, the Canon M50 Mark II that was released recently, in my opinion, in 2020, actually has rather disappointing specifications. At $599, I think you could spend your money better elsewhere. 120 frames per second is actually quite important for video work, for speed ramps, for improving the video quality of your work. When we buy a dedicated camera like this, what we are looking to do is to improve the production quality of our videos, to produce a more professional grade work. Otherwise, our phones are sufficient. There are quite a few limitations to the Canon M50. At $600, this camera is actually only able to produce 120 frames per second videos at 720p. To give you a comparison, the iPhone 12 Pro that was released on 23rd of October this year is able to create videos at 120 frames per second at 1080p. Not only that, it is able to create 240 frames per second videos at 1080p too. So this 720p and the iPhone 12 Pro 1080p. In other words, the phone has literally better resolution capture than the Canon M50. Other than that, the Canon has what is called an EFM mount and uses EFM lenses. What this means is that buying the M50 doesn't warrant you the ability to upgrade to Canon's other line of cameras. EFM mount lenses are mainly for EFM mount cameras, meaning Canon's mirrorless line of cameras. In terms of lenses, there are EF lenses, EFS lenses, and EFM lenses. Then in terms of mount, there is EF mount, RF mount, and EFM mount, just from Canon itself. I didn't have this knowledge when I first purchased the Canon M50 earlier this June, and I felt like it is my responsibility to make this video so that I can help you and as many people as possible to prevent from having to regret over your M50 purchase. I need to share this information so you at least know what you're buying. On to the iPhone 12 Pro, which is far more exciting. With Apple's release of the iPhone 12 Pro this year, you have 3 different types of lenses in one camera, which are wide, ultra-wide, and telephoto. Ultra-wide or wide lenses are important for content creation in vlogging situations, for when you want to take large views of the landscape. For example, if you're traveling and you want to take photos or videos to record that beautiful scenery, a wide angle lens will allow you to take in more of that magnificence. What about telephoto lenses? Telephoto lenses are incredibly important as well when you understand more about cameras. See, when you buy a camera, you need to get accompanying lenses in order for you to unlock its full potential and capability. The largest benefits of having multiple focal range is for framing. What is framing? Framing relates heavily to its composition, and the composition of a photo or video has great relevance about how it will finally deliver an emotion to your viewers. When we have a frame filled with too many things and it's not focused on the subject matter of interest, that particular photo or video can be a lot less impressive than if you were to get just the right framing on it, so that the emotions within the scene that you wish to express can be conveyed. When there are too many random things in your photo or video, it will usually look less impressive. So having the telephoto option on your iPhone 12 Pro is incredibly important. A telephoto is specially used for portraitures, which means for pictures of people's faces. It tends to highlight people's faces better by being able to have a more zoomed in look, and as a result provides you with better framing of the faces. There are more to telephoto lenses, lens compression and so on, but we'll leave that for another video. With that, the iPhone 12 Pro has all that you need to make videos that you plan to use the Canon M50 for. For example, if you want to create content with the Canon M50, the Canon M50 body itself is $599, and a good lens like the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens would be about $400. Together, that'd already be $1,000. That's not including the prices of the Canon M50's batteries. Yes, there might be a difference in terms of a depth of field that you can get from a combination like the Canon M50 and the Sigma 16mm f1.4 lens as compared to your iPhone 12 Pro. But look up viral videos on YouTube or TikTok, for example, and you realize that depth of field or bokeh is not high on the content creators list of priority. What if you wanted to get a professional look on your photos or videos? You see, the Canon M50 is pretty weak in low light. As a budget dedicated camera, I would say that the footages that come out of it does not look very good. It's pretty weak in low light despite being a dedicated camera, which means lots of noise. If photo or video noise is really a concern, I would in fact suggest you to look at a more proper solution like a full frame camera, which in this case I would recommend the latest Sony a7C, a larger sensor full frame camera. While the Canon M50 Mark II has 8-bit footage, the same as its predecessor, the iPhone 12 Pro has 10-bit color. This means that when you're trying to edit footages that come out from the Canon M50 or the iPhone 12 Pro, the iPhone 12 Pro's footages will give you a lot more flexibility and range in editing the colors without having weird or odd digital artifacts appear in your footages. In terms of specifications, the iPhone 12 Pro certainly wins. The Canon M50, on the other hand, to do well, will need the Sigma 16, 30 or 56mm lenses, all EFM. What do you need for video content creation with a phone? The first thing you need will be lighting. The second, tripod, and the third, depending on the type of work that you do, is a gimbal. A gimbal is basically an equipment that supports your phone and allows you to stabilize it so that you can get smoother, more cinematic footage, but that depends on whether you are taking travel videos and so on. If you are just creating content that is static with you facing the camera, like this video right now, you don't need a gimbal. On the other hand, if you want to take smooth, what we call B-rolls, videos that are added as intermittent, aesthetically pleasing videos to improve the production value of your content, then perhaps you can get a gimbal. On the iPhone 12, there's also a piece of unique technology called LiDAR. LiDAR is a sensor and technology that detects the distance of objects by the time the light take to hit the camera sensor, or in other words, LiDAR detects the distance of objects. It's a pretty unique technology. If there is a developer who can use the data that is detected by the LiDAR sensor, for example, they can create an app that allows users to take photos and videos with depth of field, or bokeh. One of the largest differentiations between phone cameras and a dedicated camera is in their ability to create that depth in terms of bokeh. You see, with a dedicated camera, you can use the power of your lenses and the camera in creating these blurry backgrounds. This blurry background gives footages a slightly more cinematic look. On the cameras of phones and the GoPro, for example, most things are usually entirely within focus, and that's due to the size of the camera sensor and how the lenses react with it. In 2021, perhaps there might be developers who have come up with apps that can allow users to record their photos and videos leveraging on LiDAR's data and create depth of field or bokeh within their photos or videos. It's very possible. With that, the gap between a phone camera and a professional dedicated camera can be put closer together. So if you really need the capabilities of a dedicated camera, I would suggest you to consider at least the Sony Alpha 6400 as of 2020. It comes with 120 frames per second at 1080p for a budget camera. You see, the reason why we aim to buy a dedicated camera is to improve the production value of our work. When you compare the Sony a6400 to the iPhone 12 Pro, for example, it has a larger camera sensor. With a slightly larger camera sensor, you'll be able to record photos or videos with less noise. Not all 4K resolution is created equal. The 4K resolution between a dedicated camera, an iPhone 12 Pro, a DJI drone, or GoPro are different depending on camera sensor size, color science, and bitrate or bit depth. Even then, the Sony a6400 has 8-bit footages as compared to 10-bit on iPhone 12 Pro. This means that visual artifacts or oddness will appear faster on the Sony a6400 when compared to editing the footages on your iPhone 12 Pro. So my conclusion is, if you're considering the Canon M50 Mark II today, I would definitely recommend you to consider the iPhone 12 Pro instead. The iPhone 12 Pro will be more relevant to all aspects of your life, whether it's work for leisure, to take photos or videos, or for many more practical things that you will need in daily life. It will offer you a lot more value over time, every day. I hope this video helps. In general, where are we going with this channel? My plan for this channel is honest reviews. From a beginner filmmaker, unbiased on cameras, lenses, filmmaking gear in general, and with God's blessings, perhaps that I may have the skills one day to create truly breathtaking videos that can touch the lives of people and help a lot of people to live life better. Till the next video, be love.